Welcome back to What Are Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a T95, the Tier 9 American tank destroyer. It's located on the south spawn of Mines Encounter, and it's under the command of Andromeda. Well, his guns dropped, but I think he is going to start. Yep, there we go. Just took him a little while to load in. You can see that Andromeda's had 3 high calibers in this vehicle. In fact, he's got loads of medals and ace tankers off it as well, so he rather enjoys the T95. Now, this vehicle is rather funny for the fact that it actually has multiple names. Originally, when it was started out, it was called the Heavy Tank T28 in 1944, but in 1945 they changed the name to the 105 Gun Motor Carriage T95, so it changed its name and that's where it became the T95. But in 1946 they changed it back to Super Heavy Tank T28, and then in 1947 they cancelled the project because the war had ended and they no longer had a need for it. Plus, of course, the problem was that I'm afraid, one quick shot there, didn't get that one on target. They were originally going to use this tank for the invasion of Germany through the Siegfried Line. And when the Siegfried Line had been passed, they were going to use it for the invasion of Japan. And then when Japan fell, they no longer had a need for it. And of course, they then recognised that, unfortunately, none of the bridges, none of the temporary bridges, could actually allow this thing to go across because it was just too heavy. All the temporary bridges just couldn't carry it, so it could only go across water if it was on a solid bridge that could take the weight, and the weight was considerable. It was originally designed to be a 100-ton tank destroyer, but it ended up being a 90-ton vehicle, 91.92 tons. And you can see now he's fighting it out with another T95. Well, there was only 2 ever built, both prototypes, and both armed with a 105mm gun. But you can see in this game that Andromeda's mounting a 155mm gun, which is capable of 750 alpha and penetrating 276mm of armour. Now, from the front, there's only a few weak spots, but he's managed to find the one on the enemy T95. He went for the lower plates and he managed to put the guy out of action. You could actually aim for the cupolas as well. They stand out quite dramatically. You can see that one of the shells has actually penetrated through it and he just got clobbered by that EPR. That guy fired a heat round and he's disappeared, mainly because he knows that if he does come out to play, he's going to get wiped out with just one shot. Now you can see Andromeda's using APCR, which is kind of cheating actually in a sense, because you don't need to use it. 320mm of penetration. You've got 276 with the standard, and most of the vehicles he's up against, well, yes, he could probably penetrate them with just standard ammo. I think that EBR was waiting for him to actually turn around and run away. You can see where the heat round went in. It was right on the rear quarter there, on just above the tracks. And he's just been hit again, but he's going to ignore it this time. Oh, now that one hit the ground in front of the T30. The T30's got the same gun. In fact, that's one of the reasons why the T95 was discontinued, because they'd already mounted a similar type gun on a turreted tank, the T30. And yeah, the EBR's at it again. He keeps firing heat rounds or APCR. Yeah, Andromeda's had enough of this. He wants to get rid of that guy. And in fact, since he's the last one on the enemy team, I think he can easily do this. Or at least his teammates are going to help. And there goes the last remaining enemy. And the end of battle results on, he managed to get a 3rd class tanker in that game in the T95. You got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a duelist for taking down 2 tanks to damage him, a shell proof for blocking more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a cool headed for surviving 10 or more ricochets and non-penetrating shots in a row, and a steel wall for blocking the most damage in that game overall. His win rate was 1,747. Let's have a look at the team scores and we'll see where he came. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That actually went to the T30 on the enemy team. We got 3,500 hit points of damage, but he didn't get the high caliber because he probably didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool in total. The second highest damage was the Object T97, got 3,366. He picked up a Confederate. And the third highest damage, well, that went to the T30 with 3,318 hit points. You can see that it's a little way down the table to get to Andromeda with 1,812, and of course his cool-headed and steel wall. When it came to kills, he got joint second place actually, because the Progetto 54 and the SU-130PM on his own team managed to get 3 kills apiece. 2 kills went to the T30 and to Andromeda, and nobody on the enemy team managed to get more than 1 kill. And when it came to base XP, he's even further down the table, yet actually in 5th place on this one. 1,002 went to the Object 257, 889 to the T30, 865 to the other T95 on his own team, 857 went to the Progetto 54, and 830 went to Andromeda. So you can see a lot of his teammates actually managed to get virtually the same XP, so they were working very hard to win this game, and they were all doing about the same amount of effort. If we look at detail, he fired 8 shots, got 3 direct hits and 3 penetrations, damage of 1,812 hit points, all of it at close range. 15 hits received from the enemy, only 3 of which actually penetrated, 12 non-penetrations, and block damage of 3,260 hit points in total. Of those 3 penetrations, well, 2 of those actually came from that EPR, and he was using heat rounds or APCR to get through the armour. Whereas I think there was another shot came from somebody else. I'm not sure it's the T95. He did hit the tracks, and that's why he built up such a large amount of block damage. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 2 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, and 1,109 hit points of spotting assist. On a premium count, he earned 36,918 credits, but after repair and ammunition resupply, he did fire a lot of APCR in that game. He really didn't need to. He could have fired standard AP. He actually ended up with a loss of 6,250 experience points, credits altogether. I think you could say that using the APCR did allow him to kill that enemy T95 a lot quicker, but he probably could have taken them out with standard AP through the cupolas. 1,245 XP, no multipliers, so that's all the experience points he took away. So 2 medals in the T95. I'm sure that I'll be doing more replays for Andromeda on the T95. I think I've got some stored up, so I will get around to them eventually. He does seem to like this tank, and it does generate medals for him. So yes, you'll see some more action, and I'll explain more about the sole remaining T95 in the world at the National Armour and Cavalry Collection at Fort Benning. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.